Welcome to Dave's Comics on this Christmas season. I'll introduce you to the shop. My name's Stephen. So, as we walk in, we move into the humour section. Books that will make you smile just because of their title. How to tell if your cat is plotting to kill you, for example. Why my cat is more impressive than your baby. Then we move here to some spotlighted books from 2025. There's been some great books that we've all loved that we want to put in front of people and say, take a look at this. So the likes of Joe Sacco's new book, Aristotle's Cuttlefish, Witchcraft, books you wouldn't necessarily have spotted. That's all in one place, from the Rites of Witchcraft to Absolute Batman. A chance for genres to get mixed up a little bit into one area. Then we move into some abstract titles, the likes of Boy Island, books that when you flick through you might think, I have no clue what's going on here, but the visuals are exciting and challenge me. Then we have creators A to Z. Creators that we feel are very important, that challenge the medium, but don't live in a particular genre. They're not sci-fi, they're not horror, they're something else. So we have the likes of Charles Burns' Black Hole, Terry Moore's Strangers in Paradise, the Love and Rockets books, Craig Thompson's wonderful new book, Ginseng Roots. Female creators, some books by female illustrators, writers that we feel, again, could be taken out the creators section and given their own spotlight, from people like Zoe Thorogood, people like E.M. Carroll, doing wonderful, wonderful work. We then move into science and psychology. Now, this is a real growing area of the shop. Being able to distill very complicated technical ideas about scientific topics, psychology, and give them visuals that make them easy to understand, explaining pain, explaining touch, trauma, Hidden Life of Trees adaptation, Sophie's World, graphic novel about the history of philosophy. That leads us nicely into biography, the biographical section. Again, it will introduce you to people maybe you didn't even realize you wanted to know about their history, from the Dalai Lama to David Bowie to Jane Austen. Some wonderful books in this area. From biography, we move into political and journalism, founded on a backbone of the books like Palestine, books like Mouse, really important graphic novels, and a good tradition of going into areas and reporting about what's going on in those areas, again distilling complicated ideas into a simple form. We have some European books here, the likes of Richard Corbin, Mobius, and then we move into an area that we like to call the heritage section. So these are the shoulders of the great people that the rest of the industry is built upon, the likes of Wally Wood. From then we move to a little creator spotlight, a character spotlight, if you will. Tank Girl, beloved Tank Girl, feels very important in the history of British comics. Round here, LGBTQ. This is a section that has been here for a very long time and just exploded into some wonderful books. Important people like Alison Bechdel sit next to newer creators like Alex Taylor, Lucy Bryan, and that includes some of the manga titles as well. In the middle here, we have books relating to video games. So whether that be graphic novels that are based on video games, such as Cyberpunk, or art books on which the games are based. We also have not just video games, but RPG games as well. So the likes of Critical Role and the associated graphic novels, to the likes of Magic the Gathering. And this side of the shop is the all ages titles. So kids of all ages, basically. We start with younger readers at the bottom, some picture books. Then we have the mighty Bunny vs. Monkey by the peerless Jamie Smart. Puzzles, card games, associated characters like Lushkin, Max and Chaffee. He really is the rock star of this section. This is a huge section, particularly this time of year. People looking for presents. We move into teenage books here, but all of this is safe content for all ages readers. This morphs into the adaptations. So all these books in here are adapted from novels. The more child-friendly books, such as Lord of the Flies, Wizard of Earthsea, to the less so, maybe Cormac McCarthy's The Road, Frank Herbert's Dune, Murakami's work as well. Another section that's really growing in terms of graphic novels. Through here, we enter the land of genre storytelling. So we have on this wall best-selling Marvel and DC titles. And on this side, we have again some bestsellers and some more recent titles. This year has been all about absolute DC titles. The all-conquering absolute Batman has broken all records and expectations. And for Marvel, the Ultimate Universe has done very well for them. New release genre books, horror, sci-fi, crime will get mixed into here. They're all new releases. Again, we're highlighting some of our favorites: Napalm Baby, Bug Wars, which leads us into books related to 2000 AD. Very, very important title for British comics and their associated books. People still love Judge Dredd. We spotlight here the work of Daniel Warren Johnson, who I think is a phenomenal writer, comic artist. His Do a Powerbomb, The Moon is Following Us, but also he reinvigorated the Transformers line. Associated titles with that: Void Rivals and G.I. Joe. Gerard Way is featured down here with his famous Umbrella Academy. Then we move into horror and dark fantasy. Important titles such as Hellboy, Nice House on the Lake, and this leads into the crime section, which would be incomplete without the works of Ed Brubaker and Sean Phillips with their Criminal title, amongst others, the likes of 100 Bullets and the phenomenally successful Beneath the Trees Where Nobody Sees. Underneath here, indie superheroes. Yes, there is more than just Marvel and DC. Indie superheroes probably might get overlooked if it wasn't for the not insignificant title Invincible. Historical fiction, books relating to crime and Western from years gone by. Anything with a sort of historical feel to it. By contrast, science fiction. Probably Saga is the most important title in this area, but it leads us nicely into Star Wars, because we're now in the film and television adaptations. Stranger Things, Aliens, The Simpsons, Doctor Who, The Walking Dead, all really, really important titles for graphic novels. Near to that, as someone that's had a lot of his work adapted into film, is Alan Moore, with the seminal V for Vendetta, Watchmen. Frank Miller down here, Mark Miller, another writer that's had a lot of his work turned into film. Through here we have the Manga Cave. This nice little space with a low ceiling and a skylight. This is our manga collection, alphabetical. It's a nice little area that feels separate from the shop, which is always quite exciting. Out of the Manga Cave again, we're at the fantasy section. From the likes of Conan, recognisable characters, to Bird King, to I Hate Fairyland. Upstairs is where we have all the Marvel and DC books and the new comics, most importantly. So within here, 2 shelves, sometimes 3, of new titles, all mixed together, all out this week. Beneath that, we have DC Comics that have been out in the last few months. We have some back issues here, just a small selection. We have our main collection of back issues in our other shop. Behind you here, we have the Marvel comics, considerably bigger than the DC, as Marvel put out so many titles. But we also have the Marvel and DC books as well. So in the middle here, all the DC titles, all alphabetical. Tom King has done a lot of good work for Marvel. We've highlighted him. On the other side here, we're focusing on Batman, just Batman books around there. And then on this spinner rack, DC's compact editions, which have been enormously successful. Regular books, but just in a smaller size, in a really wonderful price point, £9. Behind you here, all the Marvel books that we have, alphabetical, and then spotlighted titles around here, including the older reprints as well. This is where, if you have a subscription with us, you can come up in your own time and we will pull out. That's all for the tour of those comics. I hope you enjoyed the tour. Drop by anytime if you want a more in-depth tour of the place, or if you want to explore some of the products. There is a follow-up video due on our other shop, just 2 doors away from us. But hopefully we'll see you soon in the shop.